Let me ask you something. You ever spend $100 on the hottest new lures, get to the lake, and they swim like a dead stick? You blame the lure, you blame the weather. But what if the problem is something you're doing without even realizing it? Today, we're talking about the silent killer of lure action, line twist, and I'm going to show you the one simple mistake almost everyone makes that causes it and how to fix it for good. This could be the reason you're getting outfished. Think you know how to spool a spinning reel? I bet you're doing it the way your grandpa taught you. And I'm here to tell you, he might have been wrong about this one. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm crazy. For years, fishermen have battled line twist. It's that frustrating moment when your line coils up like a phone cord from the 1980s. We've always been told it comes from using certain lures, like inline spinners, or from reeling while a big fish is pulling drag. And while those things can contribute, they are not the root cause. The real problem, the one that sets you up for failure from the very first cast, happens in your garage. It's a habit, a tradition almost, that has been passed down for generations. And it's completely wrong. It's time to unlearn what you've been taught and see why this tiny detail has such a massive impact on your lure's presentation. First, let's identify the symptom. You tie on a beautiful new crankbait. You make a perfect cast. But as you retrieve it, you notice something is off. The lure isn't wobbling, it's spinning. It looks unnatural, fake. Any self-respecting base is going to ignore that mess completely. You're not fishing, you're just dragging junk through the water. Your first reaction, like every other fisherman, is to blame the lure. You think, man, this $10 lure is a piece of garbage. You might even try to tune it bending the line tie. But nothing works. The problem isn't in that piece of plastic and metal in your hand. The problem is invisible. The real culprit is a force you've accidentally built into your fishing line. It's called line memory, but in this case, it's a very specific and very destructive kind of memory. We are talking about line twist. It forces the line to want to uncoil, and it takes your lure along for the ride. So how does this twist kill your lure's action? Imagine trying to get a puppet to dance, but the strings are all tangled and twisted together. No matter how you pull, the puppet can't move freely. It's the exact same principle. The line's desire to untwist overpowers the lure's built-in action, making it look dead in the water. Now we get to the big question. Where does all this twist come from? Most anglers will tell you it's from using lures that spin or from reeling against the drag. And sure, those things can add a little bit of twist over a long day. But I'm talking about a line that is twisted and ruined before you even make cast number 1. The real damage, the mistake that dooms your fishing trip from the start, happens right here, at home. When you're putting that fresh new line onto your spinning reel, this is the moment where 99% of the problems begin. It's a simple, fundamental step that almost everyone gets wrong. Let's paint a picture of the common method, the one you probably use. You take the new spool of line, you lay it on the floor with the label facing up, you run the line through the guides, tie it to your reel, and you start cranking. Simple enough, right? It feels right, it looks right. This is probably the way your dad or your grandpa showed you how to do it. It's the method you see in old fishing magazines. It has become the standard procedure for anglers everywhere. But here's the ugly truth. This procedure is fundamentally flawed, and it is the direct cause of your line twist problems. Here is the mechanical problem. When you lay that spool on the floor, it's stationary. The line comes off it in big fixed loops. Meanwhile, the bail on your spinning reel is rotating around your reel's spool. Do you see the disconnect? The line is coming off one way and going on a completely different way. Think about it like this. Every single time your bail makes one full rotation, you are putting one full, permanent twist into your line. It's simple physics. One rotation of the handle equals one twist. You aren't just spooling the line, you are actively twisting it. Now, consider how many times you turn that handle to fill a spool. It's hundreds, maybe even thousands of times. That means you are deliberately, though accidentally, adding hundreds or thousands of twists into your brand new, expensive fishing line. You've ruined it before it ever touches water. This process bakes a horrible memory into the line. The line is now under constant tension, and it desperately wants to uncoil and release that energy. The second it has a chance, it will try to spin back to its neutral state. This is the source of all your problems. So when you tie on that lure, that beautiful swim bait, or that pricey jerk bait, you're attaching it to a loaded spring. The line's rotational force is transferred directly to the lure. Instead of wobbling or darting, the lure just spins in circles, trying to relieve the twist you put in the line. That is the one single critical mistake. You are loading the line onto the reel in a rotational direction that fights how it sits on the factory spool. You're essentially winding it on backwards, creating a massive amount of stored twisting energy. It's a simple mistake with devastating consequences for your presentation. So, what's the fix? How do we prevent this from ever happening again? The solution is so simple, you're going to kick yourself for not thinking of it sooner. The goal is to have the line come off the filler spool in the same direction that your bail is putting it on the reel. You need to eliminate that rotational conflict. The line should flow from one spool to the other with as little twisting as possible. You want the line to come off the filler spool in counterclockwise loops to match the counterclockwise rotation of your spinning reel's bail. Here is the correct way to do it. Hold the spool so the label is facing you. The line should be coming off the top of the spool towards you. Now, have a friend put a pencil through the spool and provide a little tension, or use a dedicated spooling station. As you reel, the filler spool will now spin, paying out the line directly. It isn't coming off in static loops from the side anymore. It is unrolling in the same way toilet paper comes off the roll. This motion perfectly matches the way your reel's bail is laying the line down. When you do it this way, there is virtually zero twist introduced into the line. The line goes from the factory spool to your reel spool in a neutral, relaxed state. It has no built-in memory forcing it to spin. It's clean, it's perfect. This is the foundation of a natural presentation. After about 20 or 30 turns of the handle, pause. Drop your rod tip to create some slack in the line between the reel and the first guide. If the line doesn't twist up on itself, you're doing it perfectly. If it does twist, flip the filler spool over and start again. That simple check will save you a world of hurt on the water. So there you have it. The reason your lures might be swimming like junk isn't the lure, it's not the fish, and it's not bad luck. It's line twist, and it starts the second you spool your reel the old-fashioned label up on the floor way. The crazy part is, this is a mistake passed down for generations. The biggest secret to a natural presentation was right there in our garage, and we were all doing it backwards. Fix this one thing, and every lure in your tackle box will suddenly perform the way its designers intended. You will get more bites, period. Thanks for watching. If this blew your mind, or if you've been fighting line twist for years, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss more tips that they don't teach you in the magazines. And I really want to know in the comments, be honest, how have you been spooling your line all these years? Let's see who's ready to make the change.